Oh my goodness. I left on the mosquito from yesterday. Oh my goodness. Hold on just a second. I amused myself. Okay. Bye bye, cloud. And I'll keep the mosquito because they are around. Yeah, sure. Why not? Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee. Okay. Bye bye, mosquito. You distract me. Bye. Bye. I said bye. Okay. There you go. I hope everybody's having a good morning. Clearly, I started in a silly mode this morning, and that's a good thing. There are more news today than there were yesterday. We're still a little weak in the news, but I have an interesting point to make about that in a second. Before we do that, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get-together live here on Facebook, where we take a look at the news and we share the interesting, uplifting, nurturing ones we can find. And when we don't have that, sometimes we have to improvise. But here we are, news from our city, news from the state, news from the country, and of course, I'm about to... I think I did that properly. Yes, you couldn't hear me sneeze, right? Oh my goodness, that one came out of nowhere. Anyhow, we share news, headlines, all kinds of interesting things. We look at your questions, your suggestions, and your ideas on how to best connect with each other and with our city, Puerto Vallarta, as a community of English-speaking locals. It is always a pleasure to be here with you, and I appreciate that you watch live. I know that a lot of people connect with the broadcast later on in the day to the tune of, some 400, 500 people that watch them daily on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. Shout out to you. As always, it is a pleasure to see you here. And, if you like what we do, hit like. If you really like what we do, hit subscribe. Anyhow, it is great to see you live, though. It is great to see some friends that join us on a regular basis. And if you're watching live for the first time, please let us know by writing the word new in your comment. We'll give you a nice little welcome. And if you have something important to say, you can always add a capital letter Q to your comment, like Luisa in Guadalajara that says, uh-oh, I have to listen to the Sancudito Loco Cumbia song. I don't know that song, but I'm going to look for it later on and after the broadcast, because if it's one of those earworms, I could use an earworm for today. Anyhow, today we have a few bits of news, some announcements, some things to share. So we might as well get started with what we have and take it from there. We're going to start with a news item that I am calling an eye roller. Is it possible that we can come up with a new term for news that make us roll our eyes. The news item is close to 90,000 turtles released annually at a local hotel. This was reported this morning by Tribuna de la Bahía. But the reason this article makes me eye roll is because I want to share a common practice that takes place here in Puerto Vallarta, I'm sure elsewhere. But a lot of times, well, let me tell you about the article. The article says that a renowned hotel in Marina Vallarta reported that they release about 90,000 turtles every year. And I figured, well, that is a nice number, and that is great news. I'm going to share this with the cluster at Coffee and Headlines because it allows for connections. You know, we want to go to a place where they know how to do it and they do it right. So I read through the whole article, and nowhere in the article is the hotel mentioned by name. Now, you'd think that is careless writing on behalf of the reporter. Somehow, I doubt it because this came from Tribuna de la Bahía. And the reason this news item makes me roll my eyes is because traditionally, and I'm not making this up, I worked for a magazine for 12 years. Traditionally, some publications will not mention the names of businesses in editorial content because they are pressured by their sales department. What I mean by that is the sales department might say, well, wait a second, if you mention the name of the place you're talking about, then you're giving free publicity and we cannot make a sale, which makes sense. But the responsibility of the editorial department is to the readers, not to the advertisers. So the responsibility to the readers would be to create a full circle and give the newspaper's cluster all the information they need to be able to actually enjoy what they're talking about. Now, I mentioned this just to remind you, or to help as a reminder of why we don't do advertising here at Coffee and Headlines. We don't believe in that concept. We actually dislike this. I frown on this issue that you cannot talk about the places that you're talking about because they're not advertisers. For a while, things got a little tense in that regard when I was working at Vallarta Lifestyles, but it is really sad to see that a lot of times people that write the articles are subjected to these archaic laws. Of course, I went and did my own research as to where it was. I kind of knew they were talking about the Marriott Hotel, and I was able to confirm that because I looked at their Facebook posts, and indeed, they had a Facebook post, but the curious thing about it is that the information referenced came from a post they published back on June 16. So what this says to me is that I am not the only one looking for fresh news and having a difficult time finding them. Clearly, if Tribuna de la Bahía chose to talk about this today and reference numbers that were mentioned a month ago, then they must be short on good news as well. The takeaway for me, and the takeaway hopefully for you, is if you want to experience turtle release activities done in a great, responsible way, you can do it at the Marriott. There is the Tortuguero that is not far from the Marriott, the turtle camp. They also have great turtle release programs, but the Marriott is a very, very good place to go. And the Marriott's a great place for a day pass as well. So I just wanted to make sure that you had all the information complete. Harold gives an interesting point of view here that personally I'm not buying, Carol, just because, you know, the turtles don't discriminate. They are in every beach in the bay. So I appreciate what you're saying here, that, you know, turtle thieves might think, well, let's go to the beach in front of the Marriott because they have their act together. I would actually think the opposite. I would think if I was a turtle thief, I would want to go to a beach that is not as well supervised so that I don't get in trouble. But please don't go out stealing turtle eggs if you are out and about. It's not a good thing to do. But enough of that. I also want to move on to this kind of good news. Mayor Michel took to his Facebook page to announce that the pavement in Pavo Real Street in Las Aralias is finished. All 2 blocks of it. Yes, all 2 blocks of it. Where's the applause where you need it? Here. It took them like 3 months to do that pave work, which is more than no blocks fixed, I suppose. But it is unfortunate that it takes the government quite a while to fix these streets. There's a lot more blocks on that street. There are about 5 or 6 blocks all the way down to Francisco Villa, and then in the opposite direction, it is also quite lengthy. But hey, 2 blocks is better than none, I suppose. And those are news that I have to share with you. Let us switch over to the weather, and I'll have some other unrelated announcements to share with you in a little bit. But the weather's, oh, cosita. The weather forecast says your hair looks so soft. I don't have any, so it must be not talking about me. It is 31 degrees right now. Humidity is at 63%. And our temperature in Fahrenheit degrees is 87. Our weather forecast for today says clear skies in the morning with thunderstorms in the afternoon. Chance of rain 36%, a high of 33 and a low of 25. Tomorrow, Thursday, scattered thunderstorms possible throughout the day, a high of 33, a low of 26, a chance of rain of 57%. And then Friday, light rain throughout the day, a chance of rain of 80%. What a great day to go to the movies then. A high of 33 and a low of 25. 80% chance of rain on Friday. Let us hope that we get some rain because it brings the temperature down and makes things very comfortable here in the city. Moving right along, I want to tell you briefly of my afternoon, if I may, because I did something good for friends. Well, a friend and I did something good for other friends. They were coming back on a plane from Canada, so we went to pick them up at the airport. And because we knew that they would have a long travel day and they were arriving in the afternoon, I figured, well, if I was traveling a long day, I wouldn't want to worry about having to cook my dinner if I live in the mountains. These friends don't live in the city. They live up the Rio Cuale. So we went to Whiskey Kitchen and we got them what Gina calls a fiesta package. I ordered a fiesta package for 4. And we had this food ready to go, and we picked them up at the airport. We took them to their place, and lo and behold, we had wonderful dinner together so that they did not have to worry about it. Now, why do I mention this? Well, a couple of reasons. First of all, it's nice to do nice things with and for your friends. Secondly, if you ever need a nice, quick and dirty take-home operation, Gina's from Whiskey Kitchen, Gina's Fiesta package is awesome. It has mac and cheese and waffles and fried chicken and Cobb salad and all kinds of chingaderas to put together. Now, I mentioned this also because I got this interesting note yesterday from our friend Chris, who watches just about every day. Hello, Chris. I hope you're out there. Chris asked, maybe not a question or comment for the show some time ago, you made mention that the city was acquiring 11 new garbage trucks. Over the last couple of years, we've noticed when we've come into Emiliano Zapata from Mismaloya that the garbage piles and the smells have increased. We have seen folk that live in the area now have moved out because of the smell and garbage, wondering if Mayor Michel is concerned and dealing with this. That is such a wonderful question. And the reason I connect this with with what we were talking about before is when my friend Lars and I were driving back from our friend's house, we drove past Paso Ancho, and we are approaching downtown Paso Ancho, and I see these very, very bright lights. It looked like, we were joking because I said something along the lines of, E.T. is here. It looked like a spaceship. And as we got close, we got to see, first time ever, one of the brand spanking new trash collecting trucks in action. So the good news is they are out there, the trash collecting trucks. The bad news is that they may or may not be enough for what the city needs today. And my hunch is that 11 new garbage trucks are not cutting it. So, Chris, to answer your question specifically, is Mayor Michel concerned? I am sure that the local government is concerned. Are they dealing with this? I would hope to believe that they are dealing with this to the best of their ability. Is that enough? I don't think so. And that is just my personal opinion. You know, I've always had, if I can go there for a second, a certain distaste from the fact that the city seems to give a lot of priority to places where tourists are bound to be because of the fact that we live to a great extent out of tourism here in Puerto Vallarta. And it is nice to see that Mayor Michel has also been spending some time improving popular colonias elsewhere, far away from where the tourists are. But it's a complicated balance of having enough financial resources and human resources for a city like ours. Now, is the mayor dealing from problems inherited from past administrations? I would be surprised if he wasn't, but that is just the way it's always been. As to the increase of garbage, I have noticed the increase in garbage just about everywhere in Puerto Vallarta, and all I can say as a resident is that it is sad. It is sad that this is happening. And it is unfortunate that sometimes it takes something really radical to happen for authorities to actually wake up and pay attention to the fact that things are wrong. Case in point, the problem with the Insurgente Street Bridge when it collapsed, or when we lost Santa Barbara Street, when it collapsed due to a construction project. It is unfortunate that sometimes it takes those kinds of big actions, and but that's just the way it is. Now, I told you I had a bunch of unrelated things to announce, and I'm going to do that because this may or may not be interesting to you. A number of news outlets are reporting that Jalisco Governor Enrique Alfaro is breaking ties with Movimiento Ciudadano, and this is the party that nominated him for governor back in 2018. This says less about our governor, who has also announced that he will not run for president of Mexico in 2024. He is taking a break from politics. So the fact that Alfaro is breaking ties with the political party that nominated him after he steps down as governor is not nearly as interesting as the fact that there are questions about the structural stability of the political party as they determine who their official candidate will be for the president of Mexico in 2024. But we are not going to get into that just yet. It's too early to tell. In unrelated news, I also wanted to let you know that if you, like me, enjoy going to Guadalajara to see this, that, and the other, I am happy to say that tickets for the two first live operas that are going to be broadcast from the Metropolitan Opera in New York, tickets are now available for purchase. The first one is Dead Man Walking, which is going to be presented on October 21st. And the second one is The Life and Times of Malcolm X, which will be presented on November 18. I know for a fact that I want to go to both. And look at the prices. It's only 200 pesos to attend these screenings. So I'm going to leave this link for you to know more about it. And of course, as always, I'm going to leave you with the link to Conjunto Santander. I make it a habit to visit this website at least once a week, every Monday, just to make sure that I am aware of what's going on over there. And to wrap announcements up before we get into the chit-chat section, this is the last reminder of my goodbye presentation tomorrow. Um, Farewell songs for every occasion. Do you need a song for when you need to say thanks but no thanks? I've got one for you. Do you need a song for right after the divorce? I have one for you. Do you need a song for when you want to be left alone? I have that song for you. So tomorrow afternoon, in a comfortably air-conditioned room, we will be discussing goodbye songs for every occasion. If you're in town and would like a little bit of a musical communion, please join us at the Joint Co-working Hotel. And on Tuesday, we are going to repeat Promo Prodigy for anyone that is concerned about amplifying your message online, your event promotion online. This is a way to empower ourselves on how we announce our events online using only free tools. All you have to do is spend the time to learn the tools, and that's what this is about. This is this coming Tuesday at 5 p.m. As always, all my presentations are 300 pesos. I hope you can be there, and if this does not apply to you, I will really appreciate it if you can help me spread the word. Links to all this stuff will be available in the show notes today, as always. And this brings us to our chit-chat session. Let's see what we have here today. I see lots of good mornings, and they always make me very, very happy. Purim pum bim, looking for cues. And we already talked about that cue. And let's see. Boom, ba-dee-dum, bum, 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 bum. Let me see. Here is another cue. This one is from Chris. Hoping the city added the 11 garbage trucks and didn't just replace the 11 garbage trucks, given the added garbage the city needs to add to the feast of garbage trucks. I'm not understanding the second half, but I am understanding the first half. Yes, I mean, 11 trucks that were purchased. We don't know if they were purchased to replace or to complement what the city already had. All we know is that we are generating a lot more trash than the city can handle. But, it is what it is. And I don't see any other cues, so I think this brings us right to the end of our broadcast. As always, it is a pleasure to connect with you, and I hope the news are more juicy tomorrow. I hope that you will have a chance to join us for Goodbye tomorrow afternoon. It is going to be a lot of fun. And, of course, I hope you will have a nice, wonderful day. And I hope that we can connect sometime in the near future, maybe even tomorrow. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.